Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Friday, April 11th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 6 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. The spirit guidance for today's message, Fox in the reversal position. Interesting. So with the Fox energy coming out in the reversal position, in the upright position, whenever I see the Fox, I always think about the importance of being strategic. I think about the importance of not letting your right hand know what your left hand is doing or things of that nature. I think of holding certain things down, keeping certain things to yourself, or being discreet. And when I see it come out in the reversal position, in this moment, I'm thinking the opposite of that. And I guess the opposite of that, what I'm thinking is something about being intentional with the Fox energy coming out in the reversal position, or being intentional. Yes, we should always be intentional. That feels like a given. But say with Mercury in Pisces and the other stellium we have going on there, but mainly Mercury, because Mercury is opposing the moon in Libra. And when I think about the moon in Libra, the moon is our inner world, our inner conversation, how we're nurtured. And on a day like today, with the moon in Libra, we could find ourselves being more drawn to connections, the wanting to relate to others. And with Libra energy, sometimes when it's operating on a lower frequency, it could be a big time people pleasing energy. And for me, the worst thing about people pleasing is the fact that we betray ourselves in the process, because we completely dismiss ourselves, our needs, and instead focus on the needs of others because we want them to like us or accept us or whatever it might be. And I feel like, for me, that creates resentment within. And also too, like, I remember when I became aware that that was something that I did, because I think of, like, say, some people who are people pleasers, recovering people pleasers, for a while might not have known that that was something that they did, because maybe it was just a form of survival. And it wasn't until, say, for me, it was looking at certain patterns, in my life is what helped me to realize that, oh my goodness, I'm a people pleaser. I thought that, I just like making people happy, which, yes, I do like. I like when people are happy. But not to when it's at the expense of my happiness. And before, that's what would happen. Like, I would completely dismiss myself, my happiness, my needs for the happiness of others. And like I've said in past videos, being an empath, someone who is sensitive to other people's emotions, where you're literally feeling their emotions as if they're yours. And for a while, I didn't even know that a lot of what I was feeling was other people's emotions until I got to a point in my life where I learned to meditate, spend time in silence, spend days not speaking to anyone or turning on the TV or smart device, and just, getting up and doing daily chores and routine and just spending time in silence. And from spending enough time in silence, I was able to learn me better, get more acquainted with my being. And over time, I was able to learn that, oh my goodness, like I pick up on other people's emotions so intensely to the point that, you know, I'll think it's mine. And over time, I'd realized that a big part of my people pleasing was because I wanted people to feel better so I could feel better, in the sense that when you come across a person, you could feel insecurities within them, or you could feel different things going on within them. I'll want to disarm those feelings by, you know, making them feel better. And it feels good to get to a point in my life where I realize that that's not my responsibility, but more than anything, I had to learn to surrender and feel those unpleasant feelings that they're feeling, understand that those aren't my feelings, and, you know, understand that it's not my responsibility either to address or try to fix it. And, you know, I like to run experiments or observations on myself where I'm out and about, maybe I'm interacting with someone and I could feel that they're going through a lot, or feel whatever is happening, and just surrender within my body and observe me wanting to fix them or fix their situation by, you know, being helpful however I can, and instead surrender and do nothing, because it's not my responsibility, and I'm not being discerned or guided to do anything, and recognize that before it was just a part of me that felt like it was my responsibility to be useful, because maybe, you know, at that time my self-worth was tied to, you know, being useful, making people feel good. And when it comes to, say, moon in Libra energy, I feel like the moon in Libra energy could suffer from some of that. And with Virgo and Libra being neighbors, I feel like those two energies are so big when it comes to people pleasing. Pisces too, and even Aquarius, believe it or not. But I feel like when it comes to each, it's done for a different reason. It's done for a different reason. And when it comes to, say, the fox coming out in the reversal position and the moon in Libra, it just brings me to being honest with ourselves when it comes to something, and being straightforward. It's almost like not hiding our hand, or not like being direct or being honest about something. I feel like when it comes to today's energy, something is coming up and honesty is required. And when I say honesty, it's not necessarily being honest and telling others what's going on with you or how you feel. And maybe that might be it, but I feel like it's a matter of being honest with yourself about a situation, because when we're not honest with ourselves, it shows. It shows. I feel like not being honest with ourselves will be the reason why we'll continue to go through a reoccurring thing over and over and over again. It's like there's a level of honesty that's not happening. And in some cases, it's not that we're intentionally lying to ourselves, but and in some cases, maybe we are, but I say honesty as in owning something. Something needs to be owned today. So whether we own something within ourselves, or, you know, we're straightforward and honest when it comes to an interaction and dealing with another. And when it comes to, say, a day like today with moon and Libra and the energies in the day adding up and reducing to number 6 vibration, both of those energies are very social energy. Both energies are community or relationship oriented energy. Both those energies are ruled by Venusian energy. And when I think of the Venusian aspect to both of those energies, I think of our definitions of success. I think of, say, things that I think of, our definition of success, mainly when I think of the Venusian energy with the number 6 in Libra. When I say definition of success, it could be whatever you decide success is based on, say, society standards, because for the most part, most of our definitions of success starts out with society standards, or maybe what we learn within our families, our communities, and things of that nature. And it's not until we mature, we, rebel respectfully, or maybe not respectfully, but we rebel and realize that we need to define success for ourselves and not allow for movies, medias, or anybody else. And when it comes to a day like today, I feel like for some of us, we could experience moments of just lack, of feeling like we're not enough, regardless of how successful we are, successful based on our definitions, on the things that we decide that we wanted to accomplish, experiences that we want to have. I feel like today's one of those days where, you know, you could find yourself feeling some kind of way for not having things that you don't even want, things that you've never wanted, but maybe something about the way something was said, the way how someone said something, or, you know, it's like all of a sudden you feel like you're missing out. And I feel like with the fox energy in the reversal position, it is very important to be honest with yourself. And a lot of the times I feel like, you know, it's hard for us to be honest with ourselves because we can't see ourselves. And for me, I see myself through patterns. When things are reoccurring, that's when I stop and I see myself. So say if you realize that you keep dating the same person in a different body, it's time for you to see yourself. Say you keep having the same situations with friends betraying you, it's time for you to see yourself. And until we see ourselves, it's going to keep happening. So it's either we're gonna say, okay, I'm not gonna date anymore and I'm gonna isolate myself from people. And at the end of the day, as people, we need each other. And I think of like, say, how we'll often say, okay, I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna go in hermit mode and work on myself. Going in hermit mode is really good for reflecting. And like I said in past video, you know, spending time in silence and meditating and fasting really helped me to, you know, become one with my inner world, one with my being. But then we also need to deal with people, associate with people, because that's when you'll see the real work that you're doing. That's when you'll see how much you're actually growing, is when you start interacting with people, getting triggered by people, and seeing how you respond and handle those triggers. You'll be able to see how much you've forgiven when it comes to certain things. So I feel like our real work begins with interacting with others, because that's when we're truly challenged. Like, I think it's funny when people say, oh, my dog is my best friend. And I think it's cute and things like that. But a part of me can't help but think like, it's like, yeah, the dog would be the best friend because, you know, the dog can't talk back. Like, I think you get what I'm trying to get at. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed a pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. So when it comes to, say, the tarot, we have the Two of Swords in the reversal position, and swords dealing with mental element. And in the reversal position, it brings me to making a decision. So both these coming out in the reversal position the way that they did, it brings me to, say, being precise. When I think of Moon and Libra energy, it's like hard to make our minds up, hard to make a decision, and hard to make up our minds or make our decision, because if I go over there, I'm afraid that I'm gonna miss out on what's over there. And it's like, I don't want to choose because I don't want to miss out on one or the other. So with the Two of Swords in the reversal position, it's like, okay, I need to make a decision. And with the Fox energy in the reversal position also, it's like, I need to be direct. I need to make a decision and I need to be direct. And I feel like that's so Libra energy. Also number 6 energy, with the number 6 in the day. And yeah, it's like I need to make a decision and I need to be honest about it. It's that kind of vibe. Where with the energies in today, it brings me to the importance of not assuming that other people will understand, or not assuming that they should know, because if you were in that situation, you would know. Maybe you're just way more intuitive and you're good at reading emotions and things of that nature. You pick up on the littlest things. So because you pick up on the littlest things, you can sense certain things, and you can sense certain things because you're picking up on things on a non-physical level. But for others, they depend on the physical things. So if you didn't tell them, they're not going to assume, and they're not reading your body language or energy or things of that nature. So there's something about today's energy that has to do with making a decision and then being direct and honest about it, even if it means first being direct and honest with yourself where that's concerned. And also too, when it comes to today's energy, some of the triggering factors when it comes to say making that decision or owning that decision or owning the truth of whatever it is that you're feeling, it could be things on a material level, something about the material realm or your definition of success could be triggering today. So whether you feel like you're not enough because you don't weigh enough, you want to weigh more than you do. You want to gain some weight, or you want to lose some weight, or your career or your partner. It's those physical things today that could come up that could make some of us feel as if we're not enough. I do like though that the moon positively aspects Pluto in Aquarius. And what I like about that is because whenever the moon squares Pluto, like, it's just not a good feeling. Like, you don't want no smoke when it comes to that, because it's like there's something that's coming up on an emotional level and it's like refusing to deal with it. So it's almost like the transformation of the thing that needs to happen. It's like having an argument or a disagreement but not coming to a solution and having to just live with that uncomfortableness. But with the positive aspect being made, it brings me to, there's this transformation that's happening when it comes to the inner world, the inner conversation. And the opposition with Mercury in Pisces and say the stellium happening in Pisces energy, that energy also brings me to time alone, spending time, observing the imagination and things like that, where Moon and Libra energy is a practical air energy. So I think of, say, Moon, Libra energy, practical air energy, kind of similar to Virgo energy, not in the sense that, like I was saying in yesterday's message, like I think of, like, say, Virgo energy, like Libra energy would be the type to say that, okay, I'm going to go to school for this profession because it just pays well, and they'll focus on the facts. Where, say, in Pisces energy, it's like, okay, I'm really good at this thing that, too many people don't do, and it's not a practical thing. Like, say, starting your podcast business, or starting your reading business, or whatever, or starting your art business or your creative business or whatever. It's like, it's not a practical thing. But with the stellium going on in Pisces, especially Saturn spending time there, we've learned, some of us have learned what it takes to monetize our dreams and goals. And what it takes to monetize our dreams and goals, honestly, with Saturn and Pisces, the lessons for me is discipline and self-control. Discipline, self-control, reflection, structure. So, with the push and pull, Moon and Libra, we want to focus on things that are more practical, things that are more tangible, things that make sense. And I feel like those things are only that because they've been sold to us that way over and over and over again. So there's more familiarity when it comes to those things. But when it comes to today's energy overall, there's this needing to make a decision and being honest about the decision, not hiding your hand about it. I think of, like, the person making up their mind that they want change, but they're not owning it. Also, what's coming to mind with, say, Libra, Virgo energy, but the moon is in Libra, but I was speaking on both of those earlier. I think of how in the past, like, I would go through different situations that would help me to communicate in a direct way. Like, say, for example, you want to quit a job or you don't want to do something, and you'll go to the boss or whoever and you're like, I'm I can't do this because of this, and this. And then they'll just give you a solution. And really you want to leave completely. You don't want a solution, but the way you presented your argument, presented it as if you would stay if it was this, that, and the next. And then they give you a solution when the solution is not what you wanted. You wanted out, whether it's out of the job, the friendship, the relationship, whatever the situation is. It's like, because you're trying to protect the other person's feelings. And the more I think of it when it comes to people pleasing, we'll say it's to protect the other person, but really it's to protect ourselves if we're being completely honest. If we're reflective and we're honest, it's to protect ourselves because we're afraid of the consequences of not being liked or rejected or whatnot. And, you know, when I think of like being an empath and picking up on other people's feelings and feelings that I don't want to feel, at the end of the day, it comes back to us. It comes back to me. So, you know, when it comes to today's energy, like if you want out of a thing, say that, like, you know, say how you feel exactly and not present things in a way where there's room for other people to add to it, take away from it, or even change your mind when you don't want your mind changed, is what I'm getting when it comes to this energy. Pleasure sharing this message with you. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here with me by dropping me a white heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.